And this is one on TQuest, and you're tuned into the TQuest show with DJ El Nino.
The TQuest show with DJ El Nino. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. If you think you can handle being a guest on the show, contact us today. We've interviewed independent artists to mainstream, regular folk to celebrities. You never know who's going to be our special guest, and one day it may just be you. Follow us on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM and DJ El Nino. El Nino. El Nino.
Once again, this is your girl TQuest. You're tuned into the TQuest show with DJ El Nino. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. Shout out to all my listeners out there, new and old. You guys know that we appreciate each and every one of you. Why? Because time should be valued. And if you have chosen to be here with us today, we appreciate you. Everything in life is optional. So if you're here, just let you guys know that we love you. If you're new to the platform, make sure you follow us on all social media at TQuestGLM and at DJ El Nino. Make sure you download your TQuest mobile app in your Google Play Store and your App Store for free. Sign up for our mailing list on our website, GottaLoveMeWorld.com, where you can find Gotta Love Me Radio, home of the music and conversations you want to hear. GLM Designs, here to cater to all your graphic needs. GLM merch, because at the end of the day, we all need clothes. GLM Voice, because I am the voice goddess. And just know that us in the world of GLM is here to help you elevate as a person as well as a brand. Before we get into today's show, we always got to do a mental check, because even though the world is opening up, we all go through things. No one is perfect. We have our great days, our wonderful days, and sometimes we have our down moments. And I'm here to let you know it is okay to not be okay. You have to remember, we have to be strong, but you're still a human too. And also remember, if it doesn't affect you in 5 years, you have to try your best not to give it more than 5 minutes. So right now, like I always tell my guests and fellow podcasters, you should always take advantage of your platforms. So if you guys ever need us in the world of GLM, you know
Hey,
what to
you.
do.
Me? Yes, you. What up? Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Hell yeah! GLM Designs can help you with just that. Word? From laptop skins? You lying! Promotional flyers? Yo, son! Promo videos? I need that! OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds. Hey, yo, let me get that! Professional one-sheets and so much more. Oh my god. Please visit our website, I'm on it right now, GottaLoveMeWorld.com today to check out our designs. Get it! Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World. Follow it! GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs.
Hello, darling. How you?
TQuest, what's going on?
Just here living life. Happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to the show.
I'm looking forward to the show too. And you know what I love about it? When people know about the show and then they'll contact us like, when are you guys going on? We saw the flyer and we're very interested because, our show is very versatile. You never know who's going to be a guest on the show, from music artists, independent, to mainstream, to celebrity chefs, authors. You just never know who's going to be on the show today. And today we have an incredible author. And let me tell you guys how we met. I always tell people, older cats always complain about social media because they think it's like a negative thing. But it's really not a negative thing, and it's not really a new generation thing. It's a tool there for you to use to your advantage if you know how to use it to your advantage. Because a lot of people became very successful using social media, right? So,
Very true.
it's very true, right? It's a lot of different groups on every site, especially Facebook. And I like to join the ones depending on what category it is. And it's one of them I joined, I believe it was the Black Podcast group. And we're talking about who interview, I believe, authors and people who write books and stuff. And it reminded me of that week we did that author suite, and it was all Black authors, just to highlight that, what, we do read, we do write, and we are full of so much greatness, So I was like, hey, woohoo, I do, because I always love to hear people's stories and what's on their mind when they're writing, and curious to why they want to put out a certain message to the listeners and the readers out there. So without further ado, we're gonna get into today's topic, today's show with today's guest. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you author Alan Black.
Well, good afternoon, DJ El Nino, TQuest.
Hi.
Let me say, first of all, it's really an honor to be here with both of you this afternoon. I'm always deeply blessed when I get a chance to share my story or just to share the journey that I've undergone up to this point in my life. Let me address something that you said that was had me kind of laughing. You said that older cats have got to realize that the social media thing is here to stay. And
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that I was one of those people probably 10, 12 years ago who was not necessarily feeling this social media era. But I think for me, the turning point was when I have a goddaughter who's basically like my daughter. And so I would call her. She'd never answer the phone. So when I started texting her, she would respond instantly. So I said, "Well, honey, why don't you answer the phone?" She said, "That's what old people do. We just text each other." I'm like, okay. So I got my introduction. I said, "All righty," and she went on to just basically let me know. She said, "Look, if you're gonna stay current, you've got to change, and you've got to
Mm-hmm.
move forward." And so that was really my impetus to move forward because I just realized that you know what people of my age, because I'm 67, so I'm one of the OGs, I guess, out there in this world right now. But we've come, hopefully, some of the kind of records that, you know what, if you stay in the past, that's where you're going to wind up. You'll be left back there with black and white TV and things of that nature and payphone booths that used to be on the corners and everything. You have to change and you
Mm-hmm.
have to move forward. Otherwise, you just get left behind. And I'm at an age now at 67 where I said, I can't afford to be left behind because there's too much out here for me. I have too many things I still want to get done
Mm-hmm.
before I leave this world. So it's been a learning curve. I'm still learning about different things about social media and this new technology. I admit a lot of it scared me to death because I remember when I got my first computer, I got on the internet. I was scared of the internet because I really had in my mind this phobia, the old school phobia that, okay, I'm gonna click on this website, and if I click on the wrong link, I'm gonna start a nuclear war. But that was just my mindset coming out of the '70s because you gotta remember, I'm from the era of you do papers and research in the library, you did it on a typewriter. So to come to
Mm-hmm.
this generation now, it's dramatic, and for some people, it's traumatic as well. So, but the challenge becomes, what are you going to do? Are you just going to stay wrapped up in a cocoon of fear, or are you going to break out of it and you say, you know what? I may not know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna get out here and try and see what I can accomplish. And that's really
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at this point in my life at 67.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I totally get that. And it's interesting because recently my mother was like, you know what, Quest? I remember years ago you kept telling me that I need to get on social media or at least learn it because it's the new world, right? And she's like, no, I'm good. I don't need all that. I barely need a phone. I'm like, I hear you, mother. But trust me, it's going to be a time when you may need it. And now all this new technology, she needs it. I'm like, I try to tell you. I try to tell you, and now it's so much of it. Now it's even harder to try to keep up. It evolves and changes every day. And I know she's tuned in right now, her, my father, my sister. So thank you for watching and tuning in. They was looking forward to hearing about you and your book. So they're all tuned in right now.
That's
But
great. That's great.
it happens. But today, it's not about social media. It is about you and your book. So I know you told me that it's your third book. So let's bring it
Mhm.
back a little bit. And what made you want to even start writing your first novel?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with both of you and the audience. The journey to authorship was not really what I wanted to do. By definition, being from the old school, my real passion is music. That's really what I have as a passion. That's the thing that stirs me instantly, not as a singer or musician, but as a lyricist. So I've always been blessed to be able to collaborate with people and to create the storyline that you would hear in music and that you hear today. That's really my passion. And so I have done that off and on probably for about 30, 35 years or so in genres from soul, and we're talking about starting back in the mid 80s, from soul, quite a bit of gospel, some hip hop, some R&B, and even about 3 years ago, I actually ventured out a little bit to experiment with country. My friend thought I was crazy, but I said, you know what? Here's the thing: as a storyteller, which is what I am, I'm creating a story that what I want to do is to find the best genre to express what it is I'm trying to say. So after I had written both storylines for two separate songs, I said, okay, I need to step back and I need to look at this and kind of see, okay, what's the best genre to express what it is I'm trying to say lyrically. And so I went with country music. Now, I did not grow up on country music. I respect it. I have an appreciation for it. But as a lyricist and as a writer, what's important is for you to objectively sit back and examine what is the best vehicle for you to express what it is you're trying to say. And so any personal prejudices or biases that I may have had, I had to just push those out the window because I said, it's not about that. It's about what I'm trying to say. So it's really where my passion is as a writer. It remains to be a lyricist. But to be honest with you, I had retired back in 2011. We just kind of working part-time. And in 2015, and this was at the age of 60, the Lord really just started putting on my heart to try to transition away from being a lyricist, at least temporarily, and just become a writer. And it was not a journey that I was looking forward to take. It was outside my comfort zone because I can literally remember when I started writing in 2015, I was just basically sitting down at work because I was doing hotel reservations, which I'm still doing part-time in the morning. So basically from like 7 in the morning to about 9 o'clock, it was slow. So I didn't have anything to do. So I would just kind of just start writing down thoughts and everything. And it just kind of took off from there. But the thing that was even more frightening about it was that what the Lord was putting on my heart to write, I would start writing an essay and then maybe finish it an hour later. And I'm telling both of you, 10 minutes later, I would go back and I couldn't remember what I'd written. And it scared me because I come from an academic background. My career was in college as an academic advisor. So this was taking me out of a comfort zone as far as writing and expressing myself in a manner whereby when I would finish it and then go back to review, I couldn't remember what I had written just an hour before. And I remember I talked to a pastor friend of mine. I said, bro, what's going on here? Because this is kind of scaring me because this is not what I do. As a lyricist, my writing is very organic. It's very structured so that I know exactly what I'm doing and I can recall each and every word the very second that I created the story. But in this arena where I'm writing for what God's telling me to do, this was a total change because I'm writing basically at the direction of what the Holy Spirit's telling me to do. And so I just continued to write and write and write throughout 2015. And I got to the point where I had accumulated like 35 or so short essays. And most of the essays in all three of the books are very short. They're very thought-provoking. I'm not a writer as such, TQuest and DJ NINO, that I write a chapter that's 25, 30 pages long. People are not going to read a book that's got chapters that are 25 and 30 pages long. They're not going to do it. If they want you to get to the point within 2 or 3 pages, at least that's my experience, and then kind of sum up what it is you want to say. So I just really kind of started writing in that vein where I would just write these short essays, 2 or 3 pages, and then move on to the next chapter. So by the end of 2015 or so, I had actually completed about 35 of these short stories as such. And I found myself in a position where I didn't really know what to do with them because I had no dreams of being an author. I didn't know what I was going to do next. And I can remember telling a former student of mine, she was my mentee, and I let her read some of the stories. And I said, well, what do you think? She said, well, you need to put these in a book, or you need to write for a blog. And I told her, first of all, I didn't even know what a blog was. I had no idea. What's a blog? And she just looked at me like, you really need to get current with the times because everybody's writing for a blog. I said, what do you want from me? I don't know what you're talking about. So she kind of taught me what a blog was. And so I actually wound up toward the end of 2015, reaching out to about 14 or 15 Christian blogs around the world. 13 of them turned me down, which I expected. Yeah, TQuest 13 turned me down. And then number 14 said, hey, why don't you write for us every month? And this was a blog in Singapore. And I sent an essay to the editor. She wrote me back the next day, said, I want you to write for my blog every month. I'm in Singapore, so let me see what you can do. That was kind of scary because that's not what I was expecting. I was thinking, okay, maybe every few months I would write for her, but she jumped on it immediately and said, Alan, I need you to write for me every month and come up with a fresh topic every month.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I want your audience to get from what I'm saying is the fact that when you step into a new territory, it's going to be frightening and it's going to be scary. But what I have learned, and this was at age 60 when I'm doing this, keep in mind that you cannot let the fear of what it is you're being called to do prevent you from really going forward. I think too often in life, a lot of people will get paralyzed with fear. It's called paralysis by analysis, and you overthink a lot of things. And so I think it's important that just step out there and see what's going to happen. And that's exactly what I did when I got to the point where I started writing for this blog called Christian Blessings in Singapore. Starting in 2016, I actually wound up writing for them for 5 years, which was more than what I expected.
Oh, wow.
And so then in 2017, I took these same short essays and I said, well, I need to figure out how to write a book. Now, keep in mind, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know anything about formatting. I knew about Amazon. I didn't know what KDP was. I didn't know any of this. So again, and this is where we come back full circle to technology and social media in the new age, because I actually went into Fiverr, and I had joined Fiverr really for music purposes, but I remember putting a request in Fiverr and said, hey, I'm looking for somebody to help me put my book together and try to publish it. And I just kind of put it out there like that. And the next day I had 32 people said they wanted to work with me, which was scary because I was thinking, well, maybe I'll get one person in the next few months, but the next day 32 people said, let me work with you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wound up working with a lady in South Africa who formatted the book, did the editing and everything, and she uploaded it to Amazon. And in May of 2017, my first book appeared on Amazon called Here I Am, Lord. And I can remember just looking at it when it first came out. I just stared at it because I literally could not believe this was something that I had been blessed to achieve, because this was not something I had planned to do, guys. I had no desire to do this whatsoever because my heart is still in music as far as being a lyricist. But it just goes to show that whatever we are doing, that's great. But sometimes God has another purpose for you, and he's going to steer you in another direction that he wants you to go. And most importantly, he'll equip you for what it is that you need to do. Because my writing experience was strictly from the lyrical side to create the construct of a story and everything like that and put it in a book. I had no clue. So I was just basically stumbling along and trusting God to get me to the point where I would get one book, and I did. And just to show you guys how naive I was, I remember when the first book came out, my friends were calling me and they were saying, when are you going to do a book signing and everything? And I was asking them, why would I do a book signing? I'm just me. I'm just a regular person. And they were like, but you have to do a book signing because I want you to sign my book. Which kind of threw me off because I'm thinking I'm just a regular guy who grew up regular. You know what I'm saying? If that's kind of repetitive, but that's just who I am. And so I did the first book in 2017 called Here I Am, Lord. Foolishly, I told God that, okay, now I'm through with that. So I want to get back to my music because that's really what I wanted to do. I had some music projects in store that I was going to collaborate with. And that didn't happen because he continued to have me write again and again and again. And then in 2019, I released my second book. And these books are like Christian inspirational short essays that are hopefully inspiring and make people think. The second book came out in 2019 called In the Spirit Intended. And so at the point of completing the second book, I said, well, okay, God, I'm not sure what you want me to do. Is there a third book? Sure enough, there's been a third book, which I'm just releasing now in ebook format called Just a Closer Walk. So I'm saying all this has happened really over a 7-year period. And it's happening to somebody who had no intentions of being a writer, who did not really have the desire to be a writer, someone who wasn't qualified as such to be a writer in the traditional sense. But because of what God placed on my heart to do, he qualified me to fulfill the journey that he's had for me. I'm a living witness that he'll give you what it is that you need, and he'll take you to places that you never anticipated. I mean, I'm looking at the fact that I'm talking to you guys today on StreamYard on my desktop. When 10 years ago, if you said StreamYard, I would have thought something by the pond. Okay?
Absolutely.
Where I am. So I'm continuing to grow. I'm still learning. I'm actually trying to learn how to do Instagram. I'm struggling with it because I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. But I have done the anti-male thing. And I said, okay, I'm not going to let my pride and my ego get in the way because most of the stuff with social media, I don't know.
Hmm.
With the young folk, I say, okay, what does this mean and how do I do this? And
Hmm.
they'll say A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I'm like, okay, you just lost me. So
Because
I think
you have to connect with the right people who know how to teach you properly.
that not
You
only
know.
that, but I said sometimes, look, you handle this, I can handle the writing, and you can teach me as we go along, but at least help me out. So I've learned to also reach out and to collaborate as
Hmm.
much as possible with this writing process. I have a person who does my social media. I have someone who's going to set up my book signing and things like that. She's very, very good. I mean, she's a genius at it. And I've come to recognize that in anything we accomplish in life, be willing to say, you know what, I can work in junction with somebody or I can collaborate with somebody to really get me from A to B in the most practical way that's going to make it work. So I know Chanel's saying that, you still struggle with social media, and I do too. But the thing is, because we have young people around us, you have kids, you've got grandkids, I've got 6 godchildren. So I'm not afraid to ask and say, okay, what does this mean? Somebody was just asking me something earlier. Do you know what this is? I said, no, I don't know what that is. Tell me. And she said, you don't know? I said, no, if I don't know, I'm going to ask you because the bottom line is I'm not going to sit up in front and pretend like I know something when I don't. Because I look like a big dummy later on when I mess it up. So just tell me, I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't know. What can we do to fix this so I can learn?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was definitely a mouthful to soak in.
It is.
But I get it because you have a lot going on, and we have a short amount of time, so you want to get it all in. So what we're gonna do is go on a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna ask you a few questions. Okay, does
Okay.
that sound good?
Sound great.
Alrighty.
Do you work too much, constantly on the go, miss hanging out with friends, family, or even yourself? Do you ever feel like you need an escape? Winnie's Escapes is here to help with just that. We specialize in family travel, autism travel, group trips, vacations, staycations, and more. So when you're ready for your next escape, make sure you contact us at winniesescapes.com. Follow us on social media at Winnie's Escapes as well. Winnie's Escapes, where your dreams become your reality.
Back here tuning into the TQuest show with DJ El Nino, and we are here with author Alan Black. So I have a question before for you right now. With the 3 books that you have and the different short stories and passages that you've written, Tell me one of them, the title of one of the passages that some of your listeners or readers have told you personally has really touched them the most.
I would say the most popular one is from my book two. Book two is called In the Spirit Intended. There is a short kind of inspirational reflection in there called A Square Peg. Now, the essence of what that one is, a square peg, is the fact that a lot of us in life, if we are honest, have been a square peg. We have been that square peg who's tried to fit in. And we've tried to fit into situations and opportunities that were not necessarily designed for us and were not really a part of our destination. And so, what I'm referencing there is the fact that at times you want to embrace the fact that you are a square peg because you're not being called to fit in. You're being called to stand out. And in the process of you standing out, it does mean at times that you will travel that road, that journey with very few or by yourself. But that's not a bad thing because everybody is not being called to fit in. You're being called to stand out. So I've gotten a lot of good compliments about that because people said, I see myself now because I have been that square peg at times where I tried to fit in and I really didn't. And I knew in my heart, my soul, I didn't, but I kept trying. And it's a personal reflection, a personal observation, because I've been guilty of it, trying to at times fit in where I really did not fit in. And it took me a while to realize that, being a square peg is okay because I'm being a square peg for a reason, because I'm being called to stand out for a different purpose. That's been one I really gotten a lot of good compliments about.
Okay. E-cells from your second book?
Yeah, it's in the second book called Just a Closer Walk.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was the second book is called In the Spirit Intended. In the Spirit Intended. I got 3 books. I'm trying to keep all this stuff straight. I'm
No,
sorry.
I totally understand. Trust me, I do. DJ El Nina, do you have any questions?
No, I more of an observation than a question. I just like the fact that he was able to go to a site like Fiverr and get all the stuff done. You know what I'm saying? That kind of hit me. It's like, I want to do a book. I don't know how to do it. Found a site to do it. And I appreciate it because I didn't. I know there's a lot of things you can do on Fiverr, but I didn't know you can do books and all that kind of stuff. So you know what I mean. I like that.
And Fiverr is good because it represents, as a matter of fact, I'm working with some people out of Nigeria right now who are doing some marketing things for me. Fiverr is really a worldwide community of entrepreneurs who have skill sets from every walk of life, technology. I had a young lady through Fiverr do a movie trailer for me, a 1-minute book trailer, I should say. I've done stuff in music in there. You've got people who do graphic arts. And these are people from all over the world. And so it's giving you that opportunity to network and to connect with people from across the globe. I mean, I was thinking about the fact that for the first book, I had a lady in South Africa that I'll never meet, but we connected through technology and she did everything for me to get it prepared. But that's just the power of what technology brings to us. We're blessed to be in this time and season where we can do these things. And even now, as authors, before you had to go the traditional route of trying to get it to a publisher and do they like it? Are they going to make you go back and rewrite some stuff like that? And when I got to the point where I had my first manuscript done, I said, you know what? I'm not going to send this to a traditional publisher because they may not like it. They may say it's too short. It's not thick enough in terms of content. And I'm just going to be honest with everybody. I wasn't going to let somebody tell me what it is that I had written through God's direction, that it wasn't good enough. I'm like, you may not think it's good enough, but if God gave it to me, he gave it to me for a reason. So that's the reason I wound up going with self-publishing and just did it through Fiverr, and they got it uploaded to Amazon and everything. So but we're in a new time and have been for several years where now you can do this self-publishing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an opportunity you want to take advantage of. And then one other thing I'm always telling writers now, because I'm working with a group and we're setting up some writing workshops here in my city in Omaha, Nebraska. I've been telling people, as far as you writing a book is not about it being 200, 300, 400 pages long. That's not what it's all about. One of my former students has written 2 children's books. Each book is about 20, 25 pages with illustration, pictures like that, but it's only about 20 pages, 25 pages. So, what I'm working with people here, trying to get them to understand is your book is a reflection of what you have inside that you want to express. The quantitative side of it, to me, is not as important as a qualitative side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's 20 pages, maybe it's 3,000 pages, but what is it that you're being called to express? That's the bottom line, because whatever you do is going to be a blessing to somebody, because each of us have a journey that isn't just about us. It's about us and the impact that we're having on people seen and unseen. And
Mm-hmm.
being an author, what you guys are doing here with your program, you're impacting and you're speaking to the hearts of people you may never see, but you just have to know that your platform is going to minister to somebody at a point in time that you may never realize. But truthfully, it's not meant for us to know everything that goes on that we do. We're just being called to do what it is we've been assigned.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Now you've written 3 books. Now, know what you know now. What is something that you wish you would have known before you started your first book?
I wish I had known, in all honesty, that the biggest thing that I had to basically get away from was the fear of the unknown. That's really the biggest thing that I had to struggle with, because, again, this was taking me out of my comfort zone. This was not something I had planned to do. And I look back now and I find myself thinking, as we all do from time to time, I'm thinking, what was I really afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to be fearful of. Because anybody who writes a book, releases a song, or does something that's on their heart, once they get it out there, it's it's a success. Because first of all, you fulfilled your calling and your mission. And a lot of times we're worried about, well, will somebody like it or whatever? I mean, and you have a right to feel that way, but did you answer the call? Did you do what you were called to do? Because if you did, then you're successful. People said, well, how do you define success as an author? Well, first of all, I fulfilled the challenge that was placed before me. Now, yes, I'd like to have 10 trillion copies of my book sold. That would be fantastic. I'm not sitting in front like I don't. But I can say at this point, if nothing else, I answered the call, and I'm hoping that other people can see that, hey, if I can do this starting at 60 years old, there's no reason in the world somebody else can't do it younger than that. And, we connected through Black podcast group, through Black Authors Network.
Mm-hmm.
I have literally seen books from authors as young as 8 years old now,
Mm-hmm.
who are publishing children's books, who are doing books journal type form, and they're 8 years old. And I'm like, man, I couldn't hardly tie my shoes at 8 years old, and now they're doing this thing. And I think to myself, this is such a great time to be in, because of networking and the resources that you can tap into to be able to accomplish what you've been called to do. It's a great time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even my sister, shout out to Winnie's Escapes, the #1 travel agency. In the midst of all her entrepreneurships, motherhood, wifehood, and everything, she actually wrote a children book as well on her children, Jayon and Jade. And even when she first started, she had these stories because children are quite entertaining. So she
Oh yeah,
started writing about their
yeah.
adventures, and then she even asked, because I'm like the connect, right? So she was like, "Do you know anybody who does illustrations?" So I said, "I may not know today, but I'll give you somebody by tomorrow."
Mm-hmm.
And it linked her up, and just to see it from her ideals and her stories, and started to see the illustration and see it being brought to life was such a beautiful thing. She said, "And now what? We got to get the copy written. We got this and the third." And there was a little hiccups. She had to go back, and because they said it was too short to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We're not going to allow anyone to stop what we're supposed to be
Nope.
doing.
Nope.
So you're going to have to figure it out. So what she ended up doing, which was actually a great idea, was we took the book and we did the Spanish version on the other side. So
Ooh.
it doubled up the numbers and
Ooh.
pages, and then it was able for her to put it out there on Amazon. So yeah, anytime in life, no one's perfect. Life is not perfect. Things may happen. Hiccups may occur, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't use it as an excuse to just
No.
stop.
No.
No, you figure it out.
I agree. That's what you got to do.
And make it happen for sure. Even with Fiverr, when I first heard it, I was very hesitant, but then I even tried it out before I got into graphic designs myself. And some people told me they did go up there for different things, and I even signed up there as a voiceover specialist and everything. And it's a great tool, and I tell people, social media is here. You don't have to be on YouTube looking at nonsense. You can use Google and everything to your advantage. And
Mm-hmm.
with everything happening with the world today, with the pandemic, it's showing you can do it too. You can be great too. You can be the next entrepreneur. You can be the next singer, rapper, dancer, writer, author, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is get up and, like Nike said, and just do it.
Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
Absolutely.
That's very true. You know what I mean? Technology now is the gift and the curse. You know what I mean? Now you can do everything, but then now you can do everything. You know what I mean? So that's also the curse. Because you can do everything, sometimes you try to do everything. You know what I mean? That's one of the things sometimes that I need to work on is my focus. Because since I can do everything, I'm trying to do everything. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I forgot to do this because I done learned something now. I'm on that path. You know what I mean? And I forget some of the other things. So I definitely understand that. What? Go ahead.
So here's one of the issues with people who are very creative. I used to teach my students that it sounds weird, but it'll make sense when I explain it. People who are creative, it's called the popcorn effect. And what I mean by that is you literally have ideas exploding in your head constantly. It's like non-stop. And so you say, I'm gonna do this, no, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And it's your creativity is exploding to the point where it's hard for you to lock in and really say, okay, I'm gonna do A. I'll get to B and C later. But people who have that side of their brain that's really creative, ideas are literally exploding. And that's hard to kind of streamline because a good friend of mine is definitely guilty of this. I love him dearly. And I'm like, bro, we got to stop the popcorn because it's exploding constantly. Do one thing. Okay, it's okay. Well, but this looks better. No, but this looks better. Okay, let's just slow down. And I had to, in my academic career as an academic advisor and counselor, had to reinforce this to my college students. I said, okay, this is great, but I want you to consider is let's just worry about A right now. Then we can get to B. I'm not saying forget B, but I don't want you to go A, then B, and then C, and then Z, and everything because you're going to burn yourself out. Now, that was a struggle because they were like, well, how do you know? I used to say, I wasn't born old, okay? I was young at one time. I know I look gray and tired, but y'all making me tired, but nonetheless, I wasn't born old, so I know what this is about. And so they would kind of figure that out. But creative people, that's always a challenge because you have ideas exploding like popcorn in your heart and in your mind. And the challenge really is to kind of say, okay, I need to kind of streamline this so I can do one or two things. It sounds weird. It's almost a curse in a way when you are that creative because stuff is just popping off so quick, and you're just all over the place because you're so excited, which is to be expected. That's part of the process, but how do you streamline it based on my experience? That's the key. That's really the big key.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very true. Because I'm doing A and B, then I'm skipped up the Q somewhere. You know what I mean? I just skipped all
It happens.
That's what it is. I'm like, come on, man. I gotta focus on certain things. I gotta become. I know. I personally got to become more task oriented. Just knock them out, boom, boom, boom. But while I'm doing something, I'm thinking about 6 other things. So
Well,
I
everybody
definitely
does
understand
that.
that.
Everybody. The trick is you're gonna shut off that part of your mind and say, "Okay, yeah, I hear you talking to me. I hear you tapping on my shoulder, but you're just gonna have to wait until we get here, get this done. Then we'll come to you. You'll get your turn, but you just can't butt in right now and say, "Yeah, I want your attention right now." That's
There
what
it
it is.
is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like people's like, Quest, how do you have 15,000 professions? How do you do it all in one day? I said, I don't do it all in one day. My schedule is
Mhm.
my best friend. I know they say that if you focus more on A, then you can complete A instead of focus on A, B, and C, D, because all you have is a bunch of things that's pending. And I understand that. But what I'll do is today, I'm only focusing on this. This
Exactly.
is my priority today. Of course, miscellaneous things happen because that's just part of
That's life.
life as an
That's life.
adult, as an entrepreneur, whatever. But it took me a long time to get there because so much has happened in life. And I'm like, I need to regroup, rebuild, restore. So
Hmm.
I'm going to do it a way where it actually makes sense. So I
Right.
see more
Right.
progress, you know what I mean, than before feeling stagnant with 17 projects open and nothing is complete. Just being honest.
No, I know, and your audience needs to hear that because I promise you, as you're saying that, both of you are saying that, somebody else is saying, have they been peeking through my window? Do they know what's going on in my life? Because that sounds like me. And we're all guilty of that. But what you shared and everything, both of you, is like, okay, so I'm not the only one who's got multiple ideas exploding in my head. A lot of us do. How do we handle that? That's the biggest challenge to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But before we get out of here, this has been great. Tapping into your story, listening about your books, but still getting the wisdom, because I always feel that you can
All this
always
gray,
learn
yo.
something.
All this gray.
You can always learn something from somebody. You know what I mean? So this has definitely been great. So I'm going to highlight you to talk to the viewers, and I want you to remind them of the books you have out and how to purchase them, how to follow you, and if you have any more words of wisdom in general, for the people. So the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you everybody for tuning in and taking the opportunity to listen to my story and my journey. As far as where you can get information about all three books, you can go to my website, which is alantblack.com. That's ALANTBLACK.com. And information is there about all three books. As well, I'm on Instagram as Alan T Black 55. That's Alan T Black 55. And so you can follow me on there as well. If I were to just basically leave a message to our audience this evening, I would say that basically, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, what you really want to do is to be true to yourself. And that sounds corny, but I'm going to explain why that's important. Being true to yourself is, what is it that you are about? What is it that you have the aspiration and the dream to go after? And don't be afraid to go after that dream, because it's been put in you for a reason, and it's going to continue to be there until at least you make that effort to really fulfill that particular dream or answer that quest. I'm also going to leave you with a story that I learned from my father, and it's really from the Bible is talking about how Peter in the Bible stepped out of the boat and walked on the water. And of course, he sank because of a lack of his faith. And so my father taught me the fact that everybody looks at the fact that Peter sank in the water. But my father also pointed out the fact that he said, well, nobody else got out of the boat and tried to walk on the water. He said the other ones just remained in the boat where it was safe. So the point he was making to me is that you're going to have to get out of the boat and take a chance. And used to always say, you know what, you can't walk on the water if you don't get out of the boat. And so I'm saying that to say this, at some point you have to get out there and walk on that water, take that walk of faith, and trust that it's going to get you to where it is you want to go. Because it's easy to stay in the boat or to stay on the sidelines where it's safe. And that's what a lot of people do. But the people who achieve and who break through to the greatness that they are looking to reach for, they're the ones who get out of the boat because they say, I'm not comfortable in a place that's safe. That's not good enough because I want more. And so I would just say to everybody, take your walk of faith. Don't stay in the boat. Take the chance because you never know what's going to happen. Life is too short and you don't want to wind up in a position where you say, I wish I had. You at least want to have the opportunity and the privilege to say, I did it, or at the very least that I tried. So that's really what I would leave everybody with this evening. The choice is yours. Will you stay in the boat or will you walk on the water and take that journey?
Wow. I feel you're supposed to have a good collection plate now. That was deep, Mr. Black.
Hey,
Yes,
67 years and a lot of gray has taught me, you know what, I should have gotten out of that boat a long time ago. And I tell the people, younger people, you know what? You've got nothing to lose.
absolutely.
You have
Absolutely.
nothing to lose. Do it.
Mm-hmm. And it's never too late. You gotta break out that mindset. I'm supposed to do this by this age, this by this age. That will literally kill you trying to
Yes, it
stress to
will.
do that. We're all on a different path and a different journey in life. Live your life and
And let
just
me just say, I have struck out more times than I care to admit, but you know what? I took my turn at bat and I'm going to keep swinging till I leave this planet.
there it
And
is.
that's a guarantee.
I know that's right.
There it is. Alan T. Black. You can find him at alantblack.com. You know what I mean? Great job. Great job, my brother.
Thank you both. It's such an honor. It really is. I'm deeply, deeply honored.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let us know whenever you want to come back. Some words of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? No,
Words
but
of wisdom from a lot of pain and suffering I had inflicted on myself. And I don't want
that's the
nobody else
next
to go through
book.
what I've done. Trust me, nobody can do that.
Sound like another book in the making.
I don't know if I want to write that because too many painful memories come out of that one, boy. I'm like, man, what was I thinking?
That's probably the one that need to be told. Let me
You know, that might be
say.
a title for that. That might be a title for my fourth book. What was I thinking? You know, because man, the story to that could be a long book, and I'm like, man, I done some dumb things, but you know what? God's good because He's kept me all this time.
Absolutely, absolutely. But once again, we want to thank you, Alan Black, for being here on the TQuest show with DJ El Nino. And make sure you guys follow him and get all his social media. And don't worry, guys. We take care of you guys. So once you see that this interview on the TQuest app, which you can download in your Google Play Store and your App Store, right there in the section, all the information will be there for you guys to support him. I know, Alan, you have another Zoom to get to. So it's definitely been a pleasure, and we're gonna stay in contact, okay?
Thank you very much. You guys be blessed. Have a wonderful program, and continue to do what God's calling you to do with this platform here. Keep doing it.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
sir.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yes, sir.
Bye. Look at DJ Nina listening, and you remember the website and everything.
That's what I'm
Good
saying.
job.
That's what I'm saying.
I keep telling people I love that. I hope you guys really do support Alan and his books. Because like I said, I'm saying the words of wisdom for a reason because that's deep. And everything he was speaking about, I did resonate with, especially with the whole have so much going on, and then always wanting to.
Yeah, you know I resonate with that.
I know,
It's
but
crazy.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help
Facts.
you with
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay.
You
I'm
already are.
going to help you. And if anything, I'll get some pointers from Alan. Okay. And we're gonna help you get through this. You see, I just put it just on you
Yeah,
and not on
facts.
me.
Yes, I saw
But
it. I saw it. I saw it.
no, but he was definitely great. And thank you so much for everyone who tuned in and listened to the show. Like we always remind you, everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone's always going through something. And this platform is not for everybody to be on. Cause sometimes y'all be having stories and nobody trying to hear. No, let me stop. No, but if you do have a product you want to sell and just want to have a conversation about something that can actually help other people at the same time, definitely let us know because that's what we're here for. But once again, a shout out to author Alan Black for blessing our platform with his books and as well as his knowledge.
Yes, facts. Facts.
Why are you laughing at me?
I'm just looking at you. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
think
bro,
you
yes.
like you.
That's what we're doing there.
No,
That's
but
what
it
we're
was
doing.
fun because here's my thing, right? And I want to put this out here before we wrap up the show.
Okay, talk to me.
A lot of people contact me about being interviewed and everything, right? And it's not like your average podcast, like, well, sure, anybody want to come on? Bring on your
Yeah,
no.
facts.
It's not that,
Facts. Yeah, it's
okay?
not that.
Because you
It's
got to
real talk.
realize
It's
it's
not
still
that.
a business, especially for us, because these shows we have to send into a lot of radio stations. So we really can't just have any old body do it, any old thing, because y'all feel like it, right?
Facts. That part. That
But
part.
but the thing is, a lot of people, based off a lot of our guests, assume that we only interview music artists. But it's not the case. It's just more music artists connect with us because Nino and myself work in the music industry and they trust us with their story. They trust us with their exclusives. They trust us when helping them with branding, media, and promotion. That's why the majority of our shows are music clients. But like we said, it's open to authors, chefs, comedians, entrepreneurs, like everything. It's just that in our special genre or industry, you need to connect with people that you can trust. And that's why so many of them come to us. You know what I mean?
It's true. That's true.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I done I've gotten that, to me. It was like when it's gonna be the next singing. Like, no, we do way more than that. You know what I mean? We do way more than that. And just listening to the show today, my man imparted a vast realm of knowledge today. You know what I mean? Very, very intelligent man, and was actually able to convey his point. You know what I mean? To an understandable and easily digestible manner. You know what I mean? Everybody can't do that. So much respect for him. Much respect for him. All right.
Absolutely. And shout out to Antoine Grant. He will be on the show very soon. I know he may because I didn't put him on the calendar yet. But like you said, you be busy over there with your hip hop show. No, I'm playing.
Wow.
But but that's how it is because if this is the industry that we're in, of course more people are going to gravitate to it. But I love when other people come on the show to show you guys how diverse we really are. You know what
Facts.
I'm saying?
Facts.
So just contact us and just see what we can do. But
Yeah, well, it's like people always hit me up, yo, DJ El Nino, when you gonna DJ? Yo, I kind of can DJ. You know what I'm saying? No, man, see this right there? See that? See? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I mean, oh, you want to put it up there like this?
yeah, sure
Yeah,
again.
but for real, people set me up. Yeah, you on the TQuest show with DJ El Nino when you gonna DJ? I'm like, I can do more than DJ, but I can DJ. You know what I mean? See that right there? I can DJ.
Best skill blend DJ of the year.
Yes. See, that part. Yeah, I kind of can do that. But this is a great stunt. Yeah, low light stunt. But this is fun. This is fun doing this thing right here with TQuest. You know,
Oh, really?
facts.
I'm so glad that I'm in a great time. No, let me stop. But yeah, while we're up here, we got a lot of great things happening and coming up. So just,
Yeah, the calendar's getting a little thick. Calendar's getting a little thick. You know what I mean?
as it should.
Yeah, as it should. Facts.
And not because we choose to thicken up the calendar.
Facts. That is very true. That is
We're
very
just
true. That is
the
very true.
chosen ones
That is very true.
that everyone is contacting
Yep.
to see if they can get on the calendar.
That is very true. Because real talk, we can do 3 shows a day if we want. Yes, yeah. So,
We have. Remember, we've
Facts.
done them back to back.
Facts.
It does happen. But on some real, we really appreciate everyone who tunes in, who supports the show, who enjoys the show, share the show,
yes.
watch the recaps on youtube.com/TQuestGLM and on Twitch and stuff. So that's super awesome. And I'm going to put out there this Saturday on Twitch, your girl TQuest and Nina will be starting the Fleet DJs raid train at 3:30, doing a 30-minute teaser. So all my Twitch people out there,
Facts.
Facts.
Y'all want to see me DJ? Why not? Check that out. You know what I mean? I'll be in my bag doing that. Me and TQuest doing some things.
We gonna start that raid off proper, okay?
Yeah.
We gonna do something that they ain't even used to, but they gonna want every single time. So if you are on Twitch, make sure you follow us. It's gonna be on TQuestGLM page. Nino's page is gonna host it 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna let you guys know about that, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. If you're not on Twitch, sign up now, okay? Great.
Facts.
Now. On some real, I love the platform. I love what we do. I love our guests, and just looking forward to some great more conversations, great more promoting. And remember, I know life is busy. I know we all get complicated, but still try our best to love on one another, be here for one another as much as you can realistically. Also, if you don't hear from people, if they don't support you the way that you want, does not mean you automatically make them your enemy. It's just like you going through something, guess what? The next person can be going through something too. They're just not publicizing it. Okay, so let's don't just automatically shut people off because they're not there for you in the moment you need them. Because in that moment you need them, secretly, they may be needing you too. I just wanted to put that out there because I've been seeing that a lot and it's making me uncomfortable. And people have to realize, like, chill out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, you know what to do, Nino. Do you think?
Nah, another great show. I'm DJ Il Nino at DJ Il Nino on all social media sites. Y'all can find me here, there, and everywhere. All right, I'm on some radio station playing probably right now. All right, so check me out. TQuest, talk to us. Tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, we're gonna teach you how to do a spiel like me, because that flex is so unique. Yeah. I'm gonna let you have it. You know what? Do your thing.
No, I used to, do the crazy blurb. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to, tighten it up a little bit. All right.
No, I get it. Just like that time I did that show with the Canada crew. And I did my flex, and they was like, anybody remember that? Facts. So you're right. How about this? I'm not going to do my flex today. I'm going to be like, you guys know what it is. You can follow me at TQuestGLM on everything. You can even Google it. It's literally the name of the business. TQuestGLM. And you already know, speaking of GLM, for the ones who are smart enough to holler at people who know what they doing, that you can trust.
Hey, you. Me? Yes, you. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Hell yeah. GLM Designs can help you with just that. Word? From laptop skins? You lying. Promotional flyers? Yo, son. Promo videos? I need that. OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds. Hey, yo, let me get that. Professional one sheets and so much more.
Oh my God.
Please visit our website,
I'm on it right now.
GatherLovingWorld.com today to check out our designs. Got it! Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World. Follow it! GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs. The TQuest Show with DJ El Nino. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. If you think you can handle being a guest on the show, contact us today. We've interviewed independent artists to mainstream, regular folk to celebrities.